So it's really a very diverse office. It's automatically people think, well, accounting or auditing, those types of things, but really our primary functions are in three other areas. We run the elections and do voter registration for all of the county's registered voters. And we send you your ballot when it's an election time. In addition to that, we do vehicle licensing. So when you buy a new car, we transfer your title. We keep your registrations current. And then we do land records. So if you buy a house, you would record your land deed with us. Also in the recording department, we issue marriage licenses. So then those are three main. And then internally, we do actually do accounting. We provide the accounting services for the county, including accounts payable and payroll. It does vary depending on what time of year it is. So the accounting division is working all day, every day to make sure that our workforce gets paid and that our vendors are getting their checks in the mail. So that's an ongoing responsibility. In addition, the vehicle licensing and the recording divisions are daily functions. Elections, you'll commonly hear people ask, well, you know, what do you all do the rest of the year when you're not doing an election? Well, we really can have up to four elections a year. And next year we can have up to 5 because it's a presidential year. There will be a presidential primary in March. So we are really doing elections year round most of the time. And while the activity differs depending on where in an election cycle we are, it really is a 365 day a year responsibility. You know, I was really fortunate to have obtained a job in the auditor's office in a supervisory position about 25 years ago. I started in the vehicle licensing division and started to, know right away that public service was probably where I wanted to be. And so I tried to absorb every bit of information that I could and every skill that I could learn in the office. And then when my predecessor started to think about retiring, she approached me and asked me if I would have an interest in running for auditor. Honestly, I really never envisioned myself being an elected official. I don't think that people necessarily think, oh yeah, run for office. But so it just kind of transitioned that way. I feel very, very fortunate because I love my job. It just kind of worked out that way. And then when my predecessor retired, I ran for the position and won. So elections has changed tremendously over the years. When I started 25 years ago, I immediately, even though I was a licensing supervisor, I immediately started learning the elections division as well because my predecessor, Bobby Gagner, at that time really had a desire to make sure that we had a strong cross training and backup, if something were to happen to individuals who were running the elections at that time. And so I jumped right in and learned elections as well. At that time, we were poll site elections. And so we were setting up 27 poll sites throughout the county at various schools, churches, and other facilities, and hiring 500 poll workers to work in those at those poll sites. We were partially permanent absentee. So you could sign up to receive your ballot in the mail and you would get it in the mail. But we were only probably about 25% of the registered voters were signed up for permanent absentee. As the absentee ballot numbers grew over the years, that was the case in all of the counties throughout the state. And eventually the legislature said, listen, we've tipped the scales now to where more people are voting by mail than in person. And really what was happening is that it was such a small number of people who were actually coming out to the polls and voting. We were spread very thin resource-wise, and the legislature decided to adopt vote by mail throughout the state. So that's probably the most significant change that there has been in the auditor's office since I started working in the auditor's office 25 years ago, is how we conduct elections. So vehicle licensing, of course, probably touches people on a day-to-day basis the most, right? So people are buying cars, they need to register their vehicle on a day-to-day basis. They might need to get disabled parking services, and really those are the kind of services that we see people coming in on a day-to-day basis. We actually have multiple offices that can serve people in that regard, including 2 sub-agency offices. And so it's been difficult since we moved over here into the new building to have people know that we're here. There's certainly, several offices they can go to, but letting them know that we are now here at the administration building and available to provide them services for any of their vehicle licensing needs. The division that is least known by my constituents is that of the accounting division. And so people don't necessarily realize that it's the auditor's office, because forward facing, they see elections all the time. They see vehicle licensing all the time. And if they buy a house or get married, then occasionally they see the recording side of it. But really the accounting division is kind of the quiet division that people don't know a lot about, and really internally benefits our workforce here within the county offices the most. We make sure that all of the employees get paid on a monthly basis. But in addition to the accounts payable and the payroll, we also do all of the financial reporting for the county. So at the end of every year, we're required by law to put together an annual financial report. And that financial report lets the public know how we're doing, how the county is doing, that we're stable, that, we're financially sound. And so that's one of the functions of our office that's little known to the public.